So the first question that we like to ask people that just went through the training is, what could you share just briefly? What are your business backgrounds and work experience, and what got you interested in a medical billing business?
My background is business administration, small business in particular. I have invested in some small businesses over the years, and the most significant investment in a small business resulted in an asset sale a couple of years ago. And with the asset sale of that business came a pretty stiff non, as you would expect. And so I knew I wasn't done, and I started looking for other business opportunities. And I formed a consulting company that's general business consulting. Mm-hmm. And I invested in another technology company in a different field than what my previous investment was. And I wanted to add something else to the portfolio. So I had looked at ABS in 2015, I think.
Oh, wow.
And as a possibility for an investment when we were going through some due diligence process with the company that eventually did complete an asset sale. So I've been looking at it, following it on and off over the years. And last year during 2020, when a lot of my consulting opportunities were not there because of, 2020. Yeah. And so I started looking at some things that might be more recession-proof, more COVID-proof, if that proved to be an ongoing issue. Mm-hmm. So that led me to medical, and it led me back to ABS.
Great. And so you weren't in healthcare at all prior to this?
Not in a significant capacity. Several years ago, like 20, 25 years ago, I worked with a company that did hospital bad debt. The gentleman that owned the company actually bought the bad debt for, pennies on the dollar, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah.
And then went about collections. And when I joined that company, he had previously only done insurance, where people had let insurance go beyond the point they wanted to try to collect it. Mm-hmm. And he found that a lot of things were actually patient pay. He developed a patient pay vertical of his business, and I was hired when that came into play, and I did patient pay protocol, the guidelines for collecting the business side of it. How many phone calls do you make before you turn it to collections, those types of things. So that was really the extent of my healthcare experience. And like I said, that was more than 2 decades ago.
Yeah, I think they call that factoring, I believe. Does that sound right?
To a degree, but often, he just bought them flat out, kept what he collected. Gotcha. They wanted off the books, but some of them were more of a factoring, meaning they maintained control of the accounts, and he took maybe 40% or 30% or whatever the number was on the dollar. But he also bought blocks of them where we did an account analysis, and if you had $10 million worth of accounts, when I did the account analysis, I might say, well, I think based on age, 50% of this is collectible, and then he would buy based on that. And
yeah. And now you have a business that's going to be trying to help them before they get to that point of exactly. Reducing their claim rejections, denials, getting their AR paid before they have to just throw up their hands and give up and write it off or sell it or whatever. So interesting. So what about you, Anita? What's your role in this business, and what's your background?
Well, I actually worked with Cheryl in 1996. It was Cheryl on the self-pay side of that business, American Healthcare. And then I worked at Morehead State University in the financial aid department. I worked there for 12 years. And then I got back in touch with Cheryl again and worked for her just in an office that, and then after they did that asset sale that she was telling you about, I took a year off of work, and then Cheryl was talking about doing this. And I've been along with Cheryl for so many other adventures. We just got hooked up again, and we're making a go of it.
So same for you. Not a ton of billing or coding experience or anything like that.
No.
Just jumping into a new venture and seeing where it takes you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So did either of you? Well, let me ask this: what about our model caught your attention? I mean, you mentioned you wanted something that was COVID proof and a solid industry. I mean, was there anything else? I mean, this is. I tell people this is one of the most pandemic friendly businesses because it can be run from anywhere, virtually if you need to. I mean, I know you guys have some office space, but was there anything else about the ABS model in particular? Did you look at any other medical billing franchises or training programs or anything like that?
I did first products. Actually, I did that more in 2015. And I was not as impressed with the training opportunities. I was not as impressed with the services that they offered, or at least how they explained the services that they offered. In 2020, I actually looked at 2 different franchises, all the way through to the true franchise offering. I mean, it wasn't just I might want to do this. I was very far along in the process. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing that derailed me from doing a franchise is that long-term commitment and the fact that you are paying ongoing costs whether you're operating or not. Now, I understand that franchises waived a lot of things in 2020 because it was such an unusual circumstance. But in general, if you're struggling because of the economy or a depression, a recession, or any of those things, you keep paying the franchise, you're selling anything or not. And they're pretty significant. And it's a 5-year minimum commitment that you're going to be doing that, whether you're doing the business or not. And that was not exactly what I wanted. And while ABS is not a franchise, you get a lot of the benefits that you get with doing a franchise. You get the support, the training, the ongoing help, the updated platforms, all of those things that help with the marketing and things that you would find with a franchise without having to make that, quite frankly, overwhelming financial commitment that you're signing your name to. And so this was a lot easier to do.
It is. There's a lot less complexity to it. We could put it that way because we don't have a lot of, we have hardly any control over what you do with your business now that you've gone through the training program, you receive your certifications. Like I mentioned, you guys have got office space, and a lot of people just, they work from home, and, they can kind of do whatever they want with the business. They can hire people to help them, or they can do it all themselves. And we have people that do both, go down both paths. And of course, as you, hopefully, we do make money from some of our partners whenever you sign up doctors. So we are very highly motivated to help you in any way we can with the marketing. And we also do a lot of the back end training and support and implementation when you start signing up your new clients. So you're right. We're doing a lot, kind of like a franchisor would without the royalty fees. So that's great. If you can remember any dates, do you remember when you purchased the program and when you started the training? Was there a big gap there, or did it kind of happen right away?
It happened right. It happened very close together. I think maybe 2 weeks, if that long. We did training in back-to-back days. We did a module, couple. I think maybe once we did 2 modules in the same day. So we started training in mid-July. We wrapped July the 28th. And I believe I had officially done the purchase the last week of June. So it was within a 30-day period. We purchased, did the training, and we're already calling on doctors.
Yeah. And how long did you say it took to complete the training? Was it
10
3
days?
weeks?
No, 10 days maybe.
10 days. Wow, you did the whole thing in 10 days.
10 or 12 days.
Well, we must have fast tracked that for you guys, because it usually takes a little bit longer than that. Well, I'm glad we were able to get it done for you that quick. That's a lot of information coming at you in 10 days.
It is. We go back to our notes often. We continue to watch the online information, the online videos. We've referenced the documentation packet that's provided with each module. We do those things a lot.
Yeah, yeah. And you both were on all sessions, right? It's just
yes.
Yeah. Do you have anybody else working for you right now, or is it just you two right now?
It's currently just the 2 of us. And Anita is doing the face-to-face part of it for the most part. I'm doing more of the lead generating and trying to leverage some of my past networking. And she's beginning to look at her immediate network of people. And then I think our next step will probably be a sales rep of some sort.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Is the sales rep comes a little bit after the business has been going for a while. So just kind of again back to the training. Overall, what's your opinion of the training? Did you get a lot out of it? Was it more than what you thought it was going to be? I mean, what's your kind of overall thoughts on the training that we provided?
It was good. Our trainer was Cynthia, and she was wonderful. It is a lot of information in the time frame, especially the time frame we did it in. When I looked at this originally, training was done on site in Dallas, maybe. It was somewhere in Texas.
Yep, that's where we did it. Yep.
So having it online certainly made it easier to work into your schedule, made it a lot more cost effective. I've done many things online, so I found it useful. And I think we'll go back often to those training materials, because just the bulk of the information, I think if I had it to do over again, I probably would have left at least 1 day between the modules. But we were anxious to get started. We did have some working knowledge, and I trust in the support team. So I think we will still be okay, but would not necessarily recommend somebody do the modules back to back, because it's a lot of information.
It is, yeah. What were you going to say, Anita?
I was just going to say that I really appreciate the support line. I've gone back to that, and I like it. I mean, it's great knowing that we have that support there.
Yeah, that was actually my next question is, have you've already done your welcome call with the support team, right? Did you chatted with Tim more?
We've got an appointment for Tim.
It's actually your call.
It's actually what?
It's actually right after this call.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought you guys would have already done that, but yeah, Tim is awesome. He will kind of give you a quick tour of the support side and where everything is located, and that support site you guys have 24/7 access to. There's tons of information out there, on all the services and stuff. So that's what I was going to say is if you haven't done it, make sure you book that call. So you already did. So good. So have you had to call support or email support? Did you say you did? And were you getting, how was the response time and the answers and all that?
They were, I just emailed them, introduced myself, and they were really quick to answer back, to reply. I haven't actually used them yet, but it's great knowing they're there.
Right. Yeah, you will. Don't worry. You will. When you start getting in it, you'll have, I mean, every step of the way, you should be relying on us, hey, I've got this potential, opportunity here. Here's what it looks like. What's my best approach here? Like, we can help you, what's the best marketing approach to talk to them? I mean, every step of the way, rely on our experts as much as you possibly can, because they've been doing this for a long time. Tim specifically has been kind of an expert in proposal creation. So, we're not going to just completely create one for you, of course, but we will work with you and help you, every situation that you run across, to make sure that for that particular doctor, you're going to come up with a killer proposal. So definitely lean on him for that sort of thing. Do you feel like you have what you need to make this work? I mean, do you feel like you need any additional training or schooling or anything that was left out at this point? Or what are your thoughts there?
I think what we received was more than sufficient to get us up and functioning as a business, and to be comfortable with making the sales calls, and the actual claims processing. That's I'm sure going to require some additional help from support. It would be, I think, difficult to train in depth on how to do claims entry, because every claim is going to look so different.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be the part that will require a lot of post-training support, just making sure that we're doing those right.
Yep. And that's exactly what we do. When you finally get that first client, we figure out, okay, what specialty is it? How many doctors are in there? And we can get you in touch with someone who is an expert at that particular specialty billing, and train you and walk you through it. I'm glad that you see it that way. There's a lot of people that think, oh my gosh, I need to know everything there is to know about billing before I go out. And no, you don't. You're exactly right. It's all about just figuring out how to make those connections and build relationships with people, so you can get the referrals and get the ball rolling that way. So,
right.
All right. So you said you've got you've got some prospects. You're starting to think about people that your current network. I guess you're going to start getting out there and probably networking, joining some different networking groups, things of that nature. I mean, do you have any really hot prospects right now?
We have one, I think one very good lead from a company that's close to our office. Anita stopped by yesterday or day before, mm-hmm. and visited with them. It's a podiatrist group, and I think they're a good, at least long-term prospect, not immediate. And I have a meeting this afternoon with a lady that I know that does a lot with the University of Kentucky. At least previously she did. And she had a particular focus on dentistry, which my husband is a dentist. So, so we attend several that touch into all of the medical arenas. So I already have a lot of that network. And then through my consulting company, I already have access to like some local chamber of commerce and those things. It's just right now with this recent COVID surge, a lot of things have gotten kind of put on hold as far as the face-to-face meetings go. But we're certainly going to take of the online platforms as well. And there's a lot of those already kind of resurfacing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, luckily everyone's already used to the Zoom thing, and usually it works, except for what we tried this morning. But
when it doesn't.
yeah, you never know. So I'm curious, did your husband have an opinion on, because we just recently got into the dental market. We partnered with a dental a partner. Does he feel there's any kind of need for this in terms of outsourced revenue cycle management for dentists, or have you talked about it much with him?
Oh, he absolutely does. He's retired from his private practice. But in his retirement, he has re-entered the locum dentistry field. Oh. And so we've had an opportunity to travel since 2019. He did some locum dentistry in Nevada, and he's doing some in Northern Kentucky at the moment. So we get to see a lot of different dental practices, and I get to hear about the shortcomings of the systems. And so not just the revenue, but also the other side, the charting side as well. The revenue side, absolutely, because it was honestly, it's a struggle in dental practices because insurance companies do not pay as timely as the contract says they will. There's a lot of rejects, even in the dental, which has got far fewer opportunities for claim issues than say the medical field does. And very much, I think true with dentists and doctors both, is their collegiate careers do not emphasize business. It emphasizes their practice skills. And so that dentists come out, or doctors come out of their college years, they want to open their own practice, but they really don't know how. They really don't know the business side. They are very much thinking that money in, money out, it's all going to be fine. And then we learned that the revenue cycle does not operate that way, which is true in most small businesses. So he very much sees a need for that, and especially getting in on those practices early, or when someone is really having to consider, am I going to have to take on a partner or sell my practice to make this work? And we know people who fit both of those categories.
So the issues are the same, medical or dental, they're the same.
They are the same, yes.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear. That's good feedback. That's pretty much all I've got. Do you guys have any final thoughts or words of wisdom for people that are looking into this opportunity and just not sure if it's right for them or not? I mean, what would you say to someone who's thinking about it?
If you are seriously considering, do your research on the medical market. The numbers speak for themselves about the need and how many uncollected claims result every year from people not doing the correct processing. Think about what we now know with 2020, that you can do without a lot of things. You cannot do without medical care.
Yeah.
As that evolves, hopefully at a federal level, there's going to be new laws, new regulatory requirements. It's a great time to pursue that industry. I believe that will be the best service industry you can be in the years to come. This is not a fad, or it's not a trend. What I saw in 2015 has only become more significant in 2021.
That's great. Yeah, I echo those sentiments exactly. So I'm glad you put it that way. That's great. Any final thoughts from you, Anita?
I appreciate all the support, the training. My recommendation is the training. Yeah, don't do it back to back. Absolutely not, because it can be overwhelming. But you have the support, and it was very good, and then something anybody can do from home or the office. And we both have offices set up, so I think this is going to be a good thing for us.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being on the call today. We had a little trouble connecting. I'm glad we were finally able to connect on Zoom. So be sure to you have that support call coming up here today. So that's great. Continue reaching out to support for anything. Don't feel like you're bothering them, or don't feel like any question is too small. You know, that's what they're there for. So good luck with your business, and stay in touch. And I look forward to interviewing you when you get your first client.
Good deal. I look forward to it. Hopefully that's sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. It sounds like you guys are you're hitting the ground running there. So, all right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye.